Mary Humber and Tammy Unruh were out sleuthing one day when they discovered some interesting facts. On a walk through the neighborhood between Trinity Lane and Spring Street, I-24 and Gallatin Road, detectives Mary and Tammy noticed that 40% of adults aged 25 and over in this area were without a high school diploma or GED. Surely this can't be true, they thought. Only 24% of people in Tennessee lack a high school diploma or GED. As Mary and Tammy continued along their way, another fact presented itself. 30% of the people in the area were living below the poverty line. Once again, Mary and Tammy were baffled. Only 13.5% of people in Tennessee are below the poverty line. How could these numbers be so overwhelming? The confused detectives continued through the neighborhood, eager to discover a clue that would solve this riddle for them. They searched high and low until finally Tammy noticed what seemed to be another clue. Both detectives rushed forward to discover 13% of adults in the area were unemployed. How could this fact be accurate, they wondered, if only 3% of adults in Tennessee faced unemployment? The detectives needed to put on their thinking caps. How did all these clues match up? Without a high school diploma or GED, people were much more likely to make low wages, placing many in poverty. At an even greater disadvantage were the adults in the area who lacked the basic education required to read and fill out a job application. Since all the clues were interrelated, their consistently high numbers must have been true. But what could the detectives do about the situation? Learning is a social process that should relate closely to everyday life and actively involve teachers and students in a reciprocal relationship. Where would the detectives find such an environment? How could they improve the future of this neighborhood? How could they allow for better tomorrows? Better Tomorrows Adult Education Center was founded by Mary Humber and Tammy Unruh in 2004 with the goal of empowering the people of Nashville to strengthen themselves and their families through education. Since it officially became a nonprofit organization in May of that year, Better Tomorrows has had the support of numerous groups and individuals who are dedicated to serving our mission. Currently, we are operating at Ray of Hope Community Church at 901 Meridian Street. Ray of Hope has generously offered their classrooms for our use in the short term at no charge. In order to expand our offerings to reach many of the 9,600 adults in our immediate area, we are working to complete the much-needed renovation of our future home at 908 Meridian. The facility is located in the heart of this area where unemployment, poverty, and lack of education are rampant. We want to be accessible to those who need our services most. The building is also an historic landmark. Built in the 1830s, it is believed to be one of the first brick homes in the Middle Tennessee area. It was built by James McGavick, one of Nashville's founding fathers, during the same era as Carton Plantation, Belle Meade Plantation, Traveler's Rest, and the Croft Home in the historic farm area of the Nashville Zoo. The Big Red Schoolhouse, as we have come to call our future facility, has been vacant for many years and has suffered from neglect. We believe that preserving and recognizing history is important in building our future, and that by restoring 908 Meridian, our neighbors may be motivated to improve their own lives and homes. Once renovation is complete, the home will be open to the public for both walking tours and for educational opportunities. With the rich history of the home, which is rumored to be a stopping point on the Underground Railroad, our tours will highlight African American history and a history of the area from the early to mid-19th century. We are working with the MTSU Center for Historic Preservation to research the history of the home and the families who live there in an effort to enter it on the National Register of Historic Places. The two most popular educational opportunities at Better Tomorrows, and hence the classes for which we need the most volunteers, are literacy and GED preparation. Approximately 1/4 of adults in the United States function at the lowest level of literacy, which signifies little to no word recognition or comprehension and an ability to perform everyday tasks such as following written directions. In the area primarily served by Better Tomorrows, 1/3 of adults are functionally illiterate, and therefore unable to read warnings on poison containers, make informed self-directed political decisions, or even follow expiration dates and allergy warnings on medicines. Functionally illiterate individuals are unable to read lease agreements, grocery labels, or bank statements, and often lack the capacity to fill out job applications or train for better jobs, keeping most in poverty. The Laubach Way to Reading is a basic reading and writing series developed primarily for adults with little or no reading ability. The series consists of 4 skill books and correlated readers for student use. The teacher's manual for each skill book gives detailed instructions and lesson plans. The series provides a systematic development of basic reading and writing skills. Each lesson includes a vocabulary development, phonic or structural analysis of words, the reading of a short story, comprehension checks, and writing practice. Another means of empowering the people of Nashville is by helping them to prepare for their high school equivalency degree, which nearly half of adults in this area are lacking. For more than 50 years, the GED tests have offered personal satisfaction and broadened professional, occupational, and educational opportunities for millions of adults who, for many reasons, were unable to complete their formal high school credential. The GED tests give adults who did not graduate from high school the opportunity to learn a high school equivalency certificate. Recognized nationwide by employers and educators, the GED certificate has increased education and employment opportunities for millions of adults since 1942. Better Tomorrows uses a computer-based GED program called MHC Interactive GED, along with in-class exercises and homework. The interactive software includes 117 lessons to completely prepare the student for all areas of the GED test, which include language and the arts, reading, writing, social studies, science, and mathematics. Resources for homework assignments and in-class exercise include GED workbooks, subject textbooks and workbooks, online resources, or assignments developed by the volunteer tutor. Other volunteer opportunities available at Better Tomorrows include office worker, renovation volunteer, or, quote, outside-the-box helper, which encourages volunteers to hone their skills, passions, and creativity to create a unique one-time or ongoing project. Better Tomorrows is also eager to expand our curriculum. If you possess a specific knowledge or talent that you think others would find beneficial, feel free to speak with Mary or Tammy about developing a curriculum. As a volunteer with Better Tomorrow's Adult Education Center, you have the opportunity to significantly impact someone's life. When first getting started, make sure to familiarize yourself with the student registration form of the person you are working with. Take note of the student's goals, both while attending Better Tomorrows and beyond, and make sure to emphasize these goals while working with the student. Highlight the student's strengths and work with the student to develop practical study skills that will help him or her succeed. Everyone has a different learning strategy, and many of the students at Better Tomorrows fell through the cracks within traditional education. So personal interaction and attention is fundamental to understanding your student's specific educational needs. Education is not a solution in itself, but is part of a human, cultural, and political process of consciousness raising and liberation. Please visit our resource library in the office, and we encourage you to utilize important volunteer resource websites such as the Verizon Literacy Campus, USA Freedom Corps, and Charity Guide. If you ever have any questions, feel free to contact Tammy or Mary. Your impact as a volunteer at Better Tomorrow's Adult Education Center truly makes a difference. As former President Bill Clinton once said, volunteering is an act of heroism on a grand scale, and it matters profoundly. It does more than help people beat the odds, it changes the odds.